opening statement from Coach, and then we'll open for questions.
Obviously, just a tremendous effort by our team today. We always have keys to victory. There's always three of them. They can vary from game to game, but one of them that we really stressed very simply was just be resilient. Be resilient. There's going to be good things that happen. There's going to be unfortunate things that happened. And, obviously with the unfortunate turnover that happened late in regulation, for us to get off the mat, that was tough, but obviously this young lady hit two big free throws, ascended into overtime. And, that was resilience personified, for us to, like I said, to rally the way that we did. And then of course, let's go all the way back to the beginning of the game. We score all of 5 points in the first quarter, but so did they, so again, but we bounced back from that. One of these things, and these guys could tell you, we really placed an emphasis on defense, to hold them to 50 points at the end of regulation. 32% from the field overall was huge, and it gave us a chance. And obviously we scratched out just enough offense, namely from, Tiana Gardner here to my left, getting 22 points and knocking down 12 out of 13 free throws was really big.
Coach, just talk about making that transition from first quarter to the rest of the game.
Yeah.
That's where it all changed for you.
It did. And I think, like I said, going back to, again, there was obviously a lot of jitters, probably on both teams, in that first quarter with some of the turnovers we had, some of the missed shots. But we guarded, and that's what we talk about all the time. And trust me, we've had some 2-point quarters, like what we did to Houston Baptist yesterday. That's happened to us. So 5 points, we felt that's not bad, but we guarded. And so we didn't let them pull away from us in the first quarter. And then obviously we heated up. Second quarter, we go 60% from the field on our way to 15 points. I think we just kind of settled in to the moment, and I think whether these guys would admit it or not, it was a big stage. It was one thing to win the first 3 games of the tournament, but this is a whole different deal, to be playing for the championship. And, one of the things we talked about, among others, before we went onto the floor, is you guys can remember this for the rest of your lives. Okay, this athletic, there's having children like my two in the back and getting married, but obviously just having this experience, you're never going to forget this, and obviously what a memorable game it was.
Tiana, just talk to us about the free throws. Seconds left, your season's on the line. What were you thinking, knowing that you had the weight of the world, the weight of your team on your shoulders?
Honestly, I remember one of the things I was thinking was Myra Bell, she'll always tell me, you're rushing your first free throw, because I used to always miss my first free throw for some reason. And so I really made sure to take my time, take a deep breath before I step to the line. I knew during some of the free throws, I was like, if I make this free throw, worst case scenario, overtime. But I make the second one, we can win. It was really just one free throw at a time, not even thinking past that, because it was really right there in the moment, that really mattered. I said after the game, we practiced free throws a lot during practice, after we're tired, after we finished running. So it was nothing new to shoot free throws while fatigued. It was just a matter of mentally locking in, just knocking them down.
Ladies, take us through that range of emotions. But you thinking you've had the victory, and then the turnover, and then the quick bucket and foul, and then being able to compose yourselves and get back into the game. Describe what were you feeling, what were you saying to your teammates, what were you saying to each other, yourselves, to keep yourself in the game and believing?
So being up 4, I'm not gonna lie, I thought we had the game sealed. I should have known. It doesn't work like that though, because we're down 5 against Nichols with about the same amount of time left. So we knew anything was possible. Of course, we just had to keep our composure because the game wasn't over yet. As they proved, it wasn't over. We knew we had 4 seconds left on the clock. Of course, Tiana came in clutch, as she always does, or she has this whole tournament. She's stepped up big. So, yeah, I don't know. I knew we could pull it off. I had the confidence. I wasn't too shaken up by it. So,
Ladies, was fatigue a factor? 4 games, 4 straight days. Was it just more of letting the mental side of the game carry yourself more than the physical side?
Yeah, definitely. I think mentally it was more, it relied more mentally than it did physically. We knew how hard we're going to play. We knew every day was a game, a hard game, a tough game at that. And so it really was a matter of locking in and thinking of today's game, not worrying about yesterday's game, not tomorrow's game, but this game, giving our all every game.
Yeah, I would agree. I think honestly, playing all these games back to back to back, it's less. I think it gives you more momentum and more confidence in you and your team. Like you can do this. Like it's not really physically draining. Of course, we had our trainer taking care of us. We had our strength coach taking care of us to keep our bodies fresh. So there was that too.
Is it beginning to sink in the fact that you ladies are going to the NCAA tournament?
It's still kind of surreal.
Yes, it is.
It's kind of crazy.
We used to talk about this all the time. Like I don't know. Like we knew anything was possible. It's just like when it actually happens, it feels really good. Like it's honest. Like I think I've told Tiana before. It's been my dream to go to the NCAA tournament. So it feels great.
And that's obviously something, we've had a lot of tough losses this season where we were right there, final possession, 2 close losses to Houston Baptist. So we're literally, 1 possession game with 15 seconds left, in regulation. Obviously, we played Corpus 4 times, and 3 of them were tight. 2 of them were counted as non-conference games. I feel like I'm forgetting others that I know that were both wins and losses. So we knew, how to function, in those situations, and we practiced special situations. And when it went to overtime, fortunately, Tiana hit those free throws, and we just said, hey, it's just going to be that much sweeter. When we get the win, it's going to be that much sweeter. They provided a lot of motivation, for us yesterday with. Coach, her comment in the post-game press conference, she was, I think her exact words were after the conference championship, and she started talking about the NCAA. That's really all I had to say to them before we went onto the court, before tip-off. That not that they weren't motivated enough, but, we just, obviously we kind of had a little chip on our shoulder, especially the last 3 days, maybe not so much the first day, but maybe overlooked a little bit, but we knew we had it. It's still a relatively young team. This is, like one of the old crafty veterans. She's a junior, but it's a whole bunch of sophomores that are, getting a lot of playing time. And, you made the comment about 4 games in 4 days. We knew our bench was going to be huge. It's just, you can't, survive in advance if your bench isn't chipping in. I think the last 3 games, if I'm not mistaken, we had 9 players play double-figure minutes. Today, it looks like we had 8. But our bench came up big. We outscored them 35-18. And obviously a lot of that's Tiana with the 22 points, but Destiny Jenkins with some big threes. Chloe Storr, really solid. Cam Gibson made a lot of good plays as well. So they gave us a huge lift.
Coach, talk about being able to rely on Jacqueline and Tiana. They heavy on your minutes. And of course, they came in with timely buckets throughout the entire tournament. Just talk about having the spoils of being able to count on.
It helps. We run a lot of set plays, and there's a little laminated card I have, and there's the Jacqueline section. There's a Tiana section. Not everybody gets their own section. There are certain plays that are specifically for them, but and we know. They got to take a lot of tough shots. Obviously, they command a lot of attention, from our opponent, and understandably so from a defensive perspective. But the other thing that it does, just them being on the floor, it actually helps other people get more open shots, just because they've got a key on these guys so well. Obviously, Jacqueline, the ability to create her own shot, and as cliche as it sounds, to hit a 3, hit a pull-up, get all the way to the rim. She can score at all 3 levels. I was joking with one of the fathers, Cam Gibson's stepfather played in the NBA and played in Europe for a number of years. And we were talking about Tiana, and I said, she's awkwardly effective. You can't, she's a good athlete, but it's awkwardly effective. She finds a way to get to the rim. She's really good at what we call counter moves. If they take away this, well, then you do this. Okay. And sometimes she'll go counter move and another counter move. And again, even today, she was giving up some size, to some of the post players against Southeastern Louisiana, but she still finds a way to get it up on the glass, and obviously has a terrific touch around the rim.
Thoughts on representing the Southland Conference going into the NCAA tournament? Question for all 3 of you.
I'm proud to represent, it feels good. I feel like obviously we were the 5th seed, so I don't think many people thought we would come in and win it and get the chance to go. But with how we played, I feel like we were the best team. So now we're gonna give the Southland Conference the best representation in the tournament.
Yeah, someone from Southland's gonna make the tournament regardless. I'm proud to be representing UIW.
So, and I guess also on a personal note, obviously this is our last year, in the Southland, and as we've talked about the last couple of days, UIW women's basketball had never won a game, in the conference tournament. Obviously, 2 years ago we qualified. That's before before you guys got here. I mean, it got canceled because of COVID about 2 hours before tip-off, and then last year we lost a tough one to Abilene Christian, with playing again a lot of freshmen at the time. So certainly, wanted to go out on a high note. We did that as well. So, and again, obviously it's a tremendous amount of pride to represent UIW as well. And I'd be remiss, there's a lot of people, I'm probably going to forget somebody, but, a lot of people I want to thank, first and foremost, my wife, Emily, Dr. Emily Dow, and our two children, Chloe Elizabeth and Helena Marie. They obviously, coaching is great. It's a wonderful profession. It's tough, as my wife can tell you, from about November to March, it's tough, it's stressful, but she's tremendously supportive, and the kids are very patient as well. Our president, Dr. Evans, very into athletics, our athletic administration, Richard Duran, our current AD, our former athletic director, Brian Wickstrom, who was instrumental in hiring me, obviously, and Angela Lawson, Deshina Stevens, Kenyon Spears. There's a lot of people that really had a hand in this, and so we're very appreciative of their contributions. Obviously, a tremendous staff. I know I mentioned this the other day in Postgame Houston Baptist, but our assistant coaches do an incredible job getting our team ready, game in and game out. We made some adjustments defensively, and they're breaking down film on the fly, to get our kids ready, and like I said, do a great job, like I said, in preparing us. So that's they make me look a little smarter, and as do these two as well.
Any more?
Well, I
No,
know that-
one more.
One more. Well, I was focusing on the game. Coach, they were able to shorten your shot clock in the first quarter. I guess this is to all three of you. What were you seeing, or what adjustments did you make where you were able to then get in your rhythm in the second quarter, and then, of course, stay poised throughout their pressure, and then and get to the point where you had enough steam down the stretch to finish it off?
I mean, it's a very good go.
I mean, I can go.
Okay.
So I think definitely coming in we might not have said that we were nervous, but in the back of your mind, it's always there. The stakes are huge. So it's the mistakes that we might not normally make. We've been good with turnovers the entire tournament. Besides our first quarter today, we definitely struggled. But then once Coach Dow told us to relax and be aggressive against the pressure, don't be timid, don't pick up your dribble. So it's just I think it's just the mindset. It's not necessarily a change in their pressure or anything. It was just being more confident in yourself, knowing that you can do these things we work on every single day. So,
even going back to what Coach Dow said, we knew they were going to go on a stretch, we were going to stretch, but going into halftime after she hit that bank three, it was a little frustrating because we're only down 5, but we weren't playing our best basketball. Right. So it wasn't they were up ahead of us, they were just beating us down. But we were right there the whole time. We knew we just locked in, calm down, settle down, and keep playing our ball. It'll come to us and we'll be okay.
Yeah, and I thought, as she said, going in at halftime down 5, the third quarter was big. If you remember, we got off to a quick start. I think it was a 4-0 run to begin the second half. Again, I realized we only scored 12 points in the third quarter, but they only got 7. So now the game's tied, going into the fourth quarter. And, as a coach in our situation, 4 games in 4 days, heavy underdog, especially the last couple of days, obviously heavy underdog. All you can really ask is your team gives you a chance, going into the fourth quarter. And they did that, and obviously these guys made big shots and big free throws. And, and then, of course, we really buckled down defensively as well, too. So just thought we showed a lot of grit, a lot of toughness. That's something that, we emphasize a lot. If I'm not mistaken, Tiana took 2 more charges today, or is it 3? Was it 2? We stress. I think she's taken 2-3 days in a row. We talked in the locker room. We'd like to see a little more variety. Other people taking charges. Keep taking them. But at least Tiana did it. Those are big momentum plays, and those are toughness plays as well, which is kind of a hallmark of our program. At least we like to think it is.
Okay, thank you. We'll let you go prepare. You got 3 hours or so.
Appreciate it. Yep.